Welcome everyone to my first journey through Path of Exile 2. Let's get started right away. Okay, I guess the servers are quite dead. And I'm definitely not helping. Wow, look at that global chat. The fellas are so back. Let's go. For my first journey, I opted to play as Witch. Which I know wasn't part of my survey, but Blood Mage was really calling to me. Thank you everyone who voted. As of now, Titan will be my reroll, but I will keep the survey open. But first, let's revisit a nice moment from PoE 1, wrapping up the Occultist build in a perfect way. But back to what's important, we take down Hillock 2, the Electro Boogaloo, and let the game finally begin. There will be a lot of death in this video and a lot of build mistakes, but I promise it's all worth it, and we end up with quite a crazy strong build. Oh! Okay. The servers died again. And they were rolled back. Skipping ahead, I started off Act 1 with some ice spells before swapping pretty quickly over to Fireball. I swapped through these two styles a lot before finally settling on something. And just like that, we take down Ascendancy. Fireball and Flame Wall felt pretty good early on, but to be honest, I would suggest using Spark instead. And Draven goes down too. Welcome to the League of Nose Foo Rat 2. Here I am exploring the tree that I refund 8 times over. A lot of thought going on here without any thinking. You know? Anyways, let's burn through some bosses and keep on trucking so we can get to the good stuff. Lachlan and Jenner go down pretty easily. The Executioner did too. I just forgot to record it, which definitely might be foreshadowing that I am pretty regretful of. I wanted to actually include my voice in this video, but I forgot to record my microphone. But let me know which voice you all would prefer. And we are pretty quickly done with Act 1. Don't forget to do your side quests in this game. This is a no Path of Exile 1 campaign. The quests are actually not time bait this time around. Anyways, I joined up with my friend for a bit before calling it a night on release day. I really love that level up animation, so satisfying. Together we killed Colossus, and so far all the bosses have been really cool, and also a nice change of pace in terms of difficulty. This game truly has been amazing so far. It looks great, feels great, plays great. I really couldn't have asked for more from GGG. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. The next thing I ended up doing seemed like a blessing at the time, but in reality made the next 2 acts of the campaign a living hell. I ascended and took Ascendancy way too early. This actually is just a straight up nerf in low levels to the point that I almost re-rolled this character. It caused a lot of frustration for me, and unfortunately, it led to me forgetting to record some pretty big things like the Act 2 final boss. Holy shit, Silverfist just ended my career. I have read some of the Reddit posts about this guy. I should have known better. But anyways, more seriously. Please, if you look to start Blood Mage, don't take Sanguinancy until you have some crit established, and preferably, your second Ascendancy. So, I moved on to fight the Chimera, and I gotta be honest. His poison is bullshit. But also one of my favorite bosses. And after that, we have secured some crit from the tree, as well as my second Ascendancy. Blood Bards will be a nice all-around damage boost to really speed up this campaign. We are just about ready to swap over to what I really want to play with this build. What I envision ending up playing is a Frost Blood Mage with cast on Freeze and cast on Crit both being active. This will output some obscene damage, and will pair incredibly well with the Blood Mage Ascendancy points. I haven't written up a guide for this or anything, maybe I will at the end of the build. But in the meantime, I suggest you check out Garotha's build. I based my campaign build off of his in the later acts, and it is incredible. I'll link his video in the description, definitely check it out. Holy shit! I'm still getting one piece by this damn gorilla. Whatever. I killed him, I promise. I also wanted to call out something new I found interesting about corruptions. If you look at this item I corrupted, it actually can now roll outside its typical range. Pretty neat. And what else is pretty neat is getting the first piece of the build online. We have now swapped over to casting Frost Wall and then blowing these up with Fireball. This does immense damage and has great freeze build-up. I also cannot understate how useful Frost Bomb is for bosses in terms of DPS. Please use it. Just a quick update on the tree so far. And with the Fire Priest dead, this means Viper is up next. I gotta be honest, I was quite scared to fight them, as I have heard a lot of people say they think this is the hardest boss. And I definitely agree. But I don't think I agree for the same reason. Just watch and see what happens. That's right. My frost walls forced her outside the arena, leaving both of us immune to damage. The only option I had was to walk at the soldiers on the edge of the arena until they killed me. I'm not lying to you when I say this literally happened 32 times to me. There was even one attempt where she got kicked out of the arena, so I went to die to the soldier, until I realized she somehow got back into the arena with like 10k HP left. It was pretty soul-crushing to see her murder me there a second time while editing this, I am not gonna lie. So, while that goes on in the background, I will say that Viper is my favorite boss. It felt very unique, challenging, but fun the entire time. But that this is legitimately the worst part of this build for me. Otherwise, it has been so fun, and honestly gets more and more fun with each level. Casting Frost Wall on a pack of enemies for them to be instantly frozen and struck with Comet is so satisfying. And as you can see, it completely trivializes Act 3 Dorian E. And in fact, going forward it will trivialize most bosses because they are essentially always chilled or frozen. And speaking of going forward, let's leave Doriani's old ass in the past to get ourselves into the cruel acts. If I'm being honest, these acts were definitely not cruel. They were much easier than the first 3 thanks to our build. I think I finished Cruel Acts 1 to 3 in probably 4 hours of playtime, compared to what felt like 20 plus on the first 3. But this also could be just due to exploration. Here is another glimpse of what my skill tree is looking like at this point. We are primarily running 3 skills: Fireball with Unleash and Scattershot supports, Frost Wall with Spell Cascade, Glaciation, and Icicle supports, and cast on Freeze Comet. It is important to minimize the HP of your Frost Walls so you can one-shot them with Fireball. On top of this, we are also using Frost Bomb and a Curse as well. Later on, we will also add Eye of Winter and additionally support Fireball with Wild Shards, which unleashes so many fireballs you cannot see anything else on the screen. And just like that, Cruel Act 1 is done. On top of this, it's time for the first trade of the game for me, and it's on a pair of max life and movement speed boots, as I'm trying to stack as much life as possible while also moving as fast as possible. Pretty straightforward, right? Anyways, I wanted to include this clip to highlight the beauty of the clear with Comet, and then also show the power of this build against bosses by deleting these 2 while using gear from Act 2. As you can see, Fireball is most definitely not our DPS skill, but adding in Wild Shards definitely might help that. Let's check it out in action here. Holy shit, that is so funny to see from an Exile still in campaign. Jamanra might have claimed my life 45 times the first time I fought him, but I killed him in about a minute here. So I call that revenge. Also, screw this Bog Witch. Most cursed boss I have ever seen. Man, I am so close to maps now. I can taste it. Just got to keep grinding through this act so I can get there to farm up some currency and really show you all what this build can do. Quetzal goes down for the second time, meaning Viper is next. And while we trade deaths, this was only my 4th try, and she got kicked out of the arena 2 of them. Win in my book. Plus you guys get to see what Fireball Wild Shards looks like up close. Even more of a win. And it all comes down to this. We first try Cruel Act 6 Doriani. Just pure domination. Anyways, that's all for me. I gotta go to endgame. Please be sure to subscribe and get ready for part 2. Enough yapping, more mapping. Llama. Ow.